Hello and welcome to Making Mediumship the Norm, the podcast. I'm your host, Melissa Espinasse, known as New Zealand's modern medium, and I have been very privileged over the years to connect thousands of people to their loved ones in spirit, whether that be through one-on-one readings to my sellout Whispers from Above shows. I'm excited to be able to bring you this podcast where together we are going to be bringing mediumship into the everyday homes, the everyday hearts, and everyday conversations. Whether you are here seeking solace after the loss of a loved one, needing guidance on your life's journey, or simply you have a curiosity to explore the mysteries of the universe, the Making Mediumship the Norm podcast is here to support you. My intention with each episode is to help you bridge the gap with life beyond this earth. So without further ado, let's tap into today's episode. Hello, Seekers, and welcome to a new episode. I am so excited to introduce you to one of my private clients and soul sisters, Emma Bushell, who is an international cosmic channeler. So the beautiful Emma and I met online, and she is in the other side of the world in the UK, and we hit it off straight away. There's definitely a past life connection between the two of us, and it's been such an incredible journey to see Emma really embrace her gifts. And I cannot wait for this conversation to truly activate you in understanding how to channel with life beyond this earth, which is what Making Mediumship the Norm is all about. So without further ado, let's welcome the gorgeous Emma.
Hello, beautiful lady.
I'm so excited to have you on and for you to share your story of how all of this kind of started, because I know that you are such a powerhouse in this world. You have a global following. You're doing so many incredible events, and you are truly someone who many people respect and admire, and you are their go-to channeler. So I know that that doesn't just happen, right? There's a lot that's gone in behind the scenes and just the unfolding of your life. So kind of maybe take us back to when you maybe first experienced some kind of connection or feeling as a little girl connecting to spirit.
Okay, so hi, beautiful people. And thank you so much for having me on your amazing show. So yes, well, where do we start? My whole life's been an initiation, an experience of this. It's just spiritual patterning all the way through my life. It's woven all the way through my life. And my initiation with spirit, I call it, started very, very young. Now I can go way back to actually the room I was born in, because I remember it. And I remember the actual experience I had with spirit when I was born. It's taken me my own inner work to actually appreciate that, because obviously I'm remembering who I am in this lifetime, and to go back into my spiritual experience as a newborn, as a baby that had just been born. I actually had an experience that I now can actually remember. I remember the room. I remember the situation. I remember the colors of the room. I remember where my crib was. And I remember the experience in that room after my mum had given birth. And this has been a recollection of my own remembrance through my own inner work, which is very deep soul work. And there was a window in that room. I remember having a spiritual experience, and I was newborn.
Wow. You really,
yeah, it is a bit mind-blowing, and it was mind-blowing for me when I remembered it.
though I've been doing this long enough to know that nothing really phases me anymore in terms of what we are able to recall and experience, and of course tapping into our past lives and future lives, cosmic lives. There's so much to it all. But apart from when you were a baby, is there, in recollecting all of this and really diving into your own inner work, Did you ever feel as a little girl that you were communicating with life? I know a lot of little girls communicate with fairies, but what was it like for you?
I was woken up every single night by spirit, pretty much. And I shared a room with my sister. My sister used to be scared of the dark, and she used to go in my mum and dad's room a lot. And I was cool with that. And I remember spirit coming and sitting on my bed pretty much every night with me. I just used to have conversations with them. I used to ask them who they were. I just thought, oh, why are you here? You've changed. Who are you? It was very, very beautiful and loving, and I was felt very like you and me speaking now. It was kind of this experience. And I had this world of wonder when I used to go to bed, who's going to be next? Who's going to line up with me next? It was really like this. So I'd line up my teddies next to me. They were on my side, and then I always used to keep the other bit aside because I knew that the spirit was going to sit down.
That's so cute.
So it was just my world, and I just thought it's very normal. But it became very different when I started to tell my parents about this amazing experience, because I thought it was amazing. It was just normal. It's like talking to you and me, right? So it was until that point I told them that everything then became Emma's imagination. Everything was, oh, that's Emma's imagination, or Emma's being creative, or Emma's just, Emma. And it wasn't in the same amazing excitement as I was experiencing. It was met with very different vibes, which started to dim down my wanderlust for spirit, because I thought, hang on a minute, if they're not thinking this is as great as I think it is, then maybe they're bad for me. So you then start going into that belief system of, oh, I don't think I should do this.
And this is something that happens often, right?
Yeah.
So many people have this amazing well, I think we all probably do as kids, have this amazing experience, and then it's like the adults go, oh, no, this is a bit crazy, or what are you doing? And when I was little, because I'm an only child, my parents never thought anything of it, because they were like, well, she has to imagine something because she's playing by herself. So for me, it was never made into anything other than, same as you, she's probably being creative, because who else is she going to play with? So I was very fortunate in that sense, that I never got made to feel like what I was doing was wrong or bad. It was kind of like my family just went along with it. So for you, now that you're, this beautiful child, so connected to spirit and all the wonder that there is from all the other dimensions, here you are, you're kind of like, okay, I'm not going to do this anymore. So at what point in your life did you kind of come back to it all?
Well, throughout my whole life, I've woven in light work. So I used to do a 9 to 5 job, but in the evenings I go to night school, and I'd learn and learn. My thirst for learning is huge, to become something to do with light work. So I would then learn that, and then do that on the side as a job with my 9 to 5. So I've always been in the entrepreneurship of business from way back, but I've never really, I had my experiences. Like I'm a professional masseuse practitioner, holistic practitioner. And that's when my healing started. I wasn't any form of attuned Reiki or master or anything else. I'm a natural channel. And it wasn't until I did my professional qualification in massage that I started massaging, because I loved doing that. And then my channel was bringing stuff through that was natural. I had no idea what it was about. All I knew, it was powerful. It was spirit. I used to have psychic visions before my clients arrived. They used to tell me what was going on in their body. And then they would rock up and say, yeah, this is going on in my body. And it would be, I'm like, oh my lordy. It hit me a little bit like a truck, if I'm honest, because I'm like, there was nowhere to go. There was no internet. There was nothing. We just had, in England, it's called like the Yellow Pages. So, everyone and his dog was in the Yellow Pages. And
that is something that millennials might not even understand. But I know what a Yellow Pages is. My kids probably don't.
You know what I mean? The Yellow Pages. And he used to keep open my door in my, in my flat. Because it's so heavy. So many people, numbers are in it. You imagine the internet, but it's in a book.
I'm sure there was plenty of listings for psychics in that, right? Oh my goodness.
But there was nowhere to go. So you couldn't go to anyone because firstly, no one talked about it. You were on your own with it. You couldn't go and talk to every man and his dog about what you're experiencing, except for the people that you learned that from. For me, I went to the church. Big mistake. For me, it was a big mistake. Oh no. For me, I went to spiritual Methodist. I went to circles. I went to church. I got nowhere because it felt totally wrong for me, in my experience. So I literally was initiated with spirit and had to figure it out with no support.
From
being
the physical.
Scared. Being quite scared because of my channel. My channel was powerful then, and it was natural. It was so much stuff happening in my world. And also, there was this responsibility factor with me because of my integrity for my client, thinking, oh my God, I'm rocking out with my client. All this stuff is happening around me. I have to be responsible for this client because I didn't understand it.
This is something you bring up a really good point, Emma, because so many people, I'm actually going to say all people, I'm going to reframe can channel. Every single one of us. There is no exception to the rule. No one is sitting on planet Earth going, well, I can't channel. They probably say that, but everybody can. And the thing is, I feel that scares so many people because of how powerful it is, because of how accurate it is. And they kind of don't know what to do with it because of how society has brought us up, how religion has shaped us to view channeling. And so it can be really scary to know what to do with it and how to use it and what it all means. And this is why conversations like these are so important, because it shows that we're all the same. We all have the same kind of experiences because we're all one collective. We are all one consciousness, and we're all tapping into the same kind of stuff without necessarily realizing that that's what we're doing. And so someone like you, who really has dedicated her life to channeling, you're helping people now to be able to demystify what channeling is so they can also use that for their everyday lives and making this world a better place. So someone like you is such a gift to humanity because you're helping us to really bridge the understanding as humans to consciousness beyond this earth. And I know that you're so powerful and so good at it because you've experienced having to figure it out on your own.
Yeah. Every single person is a channeler and every single person is psychic. And that's it.
Let's just tell people what a channeler is first, because they're like, what's a channeler, right? So a channeler just means you're communicating with life that isn't human, right? So right now, Emma and I are having a conversation, and there is a whole big, wide universe out there of other intelligence, divine intelligence, whether it's God, whether it's angels, whether it's loved ones in spirit or cosmic beings, whatever it is. Anytime you are connecting with anything that is not a human, I would even say sometimes connecting with your animals is channeling.
Yeah.
live animals. That's what channeling is. It's communicating with consciousness. So as Emma says, as I say, as a lot of people will say, though there are a lot of also people out there that think that they're almighty and powerful and they're the only ones who can do this. And Emma and I are here to say, no, everyone can. So tell us, like, the work that you do now, how has that been influenced by, loved ones in spirit for you, as well as what you've seen for your clients having worked with you in opening up their channeling gifts? I know I've asked like 5 questions in one, but you've totally got this.
Thank you for making that point, actually, because it's a demystifying of a belief system that is so ingrained in humanity to do ourselves and deny ourselves the disservice of our beings, that we are natural creators within our own being, period. And also the fact that spiritualism has been made to feel so woo-woo and all of the things that it's not, because of, well, we can go on about this, but because of, we could go way on, but because of all of the detrimental historic things that have happened to people that have seen and work and be with spirit to their torturous ends, let's put it, that then gives the control of the matrix or the earth we live in, or the controlling systems like religion, its power to therefore mask the truth.
Yeah, which is such a shame, because I really know that it's not meant to be taken literal how it's necessarily written, and that it's more this. There's so much beauty in religion, and I mean, we could definitely go on about this, but this isn't what this episode is about, right? Religion itself isn't necessarily the thing that is wrong. It's the people that are creating the space for religious centers or places that are misunderstanding what it's really about. And so this is why people like you and I have had such a hard time in the world, because we are bringing truth. We are bringing in what it truly is about, not this, new age spiritualism kind of aspect of, like you said, spirituality, because it has gone mainstream and it's amazing, but it's also now every man and his dog really doing it. And you have to have mastery in this work if you're bringing it to the public. And so this is why you are helping people to learn how to channel through the work that you do. So I want to hear about your grandmother and your mother and how they have influenced you from the spirit realm to be the woman that you are today in the work that you do.
Okay, so the lineage, the generational lineage of my family is, they were psychic. Well, like we said, we're all psychic and channelers, right? But they're Cornish in lineage, and they go back to healers. So, and I've only just found this out ancestrally, and it happened to be a he as well. So I was so excited about that. That's in Cornwall. And anyway, my lineage for my ancestors is, we were locked up. So I know that in my background that there's a place in Cornwall called Tahiti, and it was actually an institute for mentally unwell, where they had those awful systems they used in there. And one of my ancestors was in there, and my lineage goes back to experimentation of this. The lineage that I bring forward for my generations is the break in the chain of actually doing something about it, and actually standing up and saying, look, I have these abilities to be able to do these things. I've had them all my life, and I'm now standing forward in my generational pattern of gifts, or however you want to term it in your head. I just see it as a natural channel to be able to bring this to my work, and for the breaking the line in my heritage and my ancestral line where they couldn't, or they didn't get there And there's a whole host of energy behind that I've had to break and work through. And a lot of my deep work that's called Sacred Heart, my healing method and my own modality, transposes that in other people, in their generational ancestral lines, to bring forward their gifts when you break the line on the generational side of the maternal line.
Yeah. And that's really interesting that you bring this through, Emma, because I always say this is the most monumentous time of humanity. The earth is changing from 3D to 5D. We're really rising in consciousness. And a lot of us, I know I keep saying a lot of us, I kind of feel like all of us that are here on planet Earth are here to break those ancestral lines. And that's why it often feels like life is so hard and it's so tough, and that you're the black sheep of the family and all of these things, because you are the one that is here to break the chain. And having someone like you who is helping us to understand the healing side of it, I want to say, slate that gets to be created from this. And you do come from a very important ancestral line, because you're not just here to do it for your family, you're here to do it for the world.
Oh, babe. The thing is with me, I'm just me. And that actually, I'd love to bring this point out. And I really appreciate that comment, because I just want to say this out there for all those people that are listening that are not stepping up and stepping forward in their families because of feeling they can't speak about it. They're fearful if they show themselves to be psychic or a channel, and you are risking your whole world changing, so you don't speak up about it. And for those people that are denying themselves their fulfillment in their being, actually it goes to their own happiness, because of they're born into a family that perhaps doesn't really support them at all with that, and they're fearful to show themselves. I just urge people, just from this conversation alone with the beautiful Melissa, to really think about stepping forward and taking a chance on yourself, because you're here to change your line. You're here to change and rearrange history for your ancestral line.
And for humanity.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, the more light we bring, the more sufferance that we can dissolve.
Absolutely.
As a consciousness.
And that's why I often say, connecting to our loved ones in spirit. I know we have different terminology in New Zealand. We don't necessarily call it channeling per se. It's more like an American UK term. So we often start with communicating with our loved ones in spirit, because often death kind of spurs us on to question life beyond Earth. And I feel mediumship is always the stepping stone to all the other communications that gets to happen. And for you, you've always had this, just the same as I've always been able to communicate. There's never really been a separation. It's just human life happens, right? And you kind of have to go through, growing up and doing all the things. But how would you let someone know that they are meant to channel, not just for themselves, but for others? Like, how can someone identify that within themselves? Because I don't know about you, I didn't want to do this. Like, when someone told me that I was meant to be a psychic medium, I was like, ain't doing this. This is for freaks. It's not going to happen. And here I am now, changing the world, making mediumship the norm. So it can happen, people. You can change your mind. It all eventually catches up. But how can someone know that they have a purpose in truly helping, bringing the light into this world?
I think it's a deep soul knowing that I'm not going to say don't fit into this world, because I didn't feel I fitted into any of it, if I'm being really honest.
Me too.
I just feel I've just got to be human, actually, but I'm not. Do you know what I mean? I think you know what I mean, right? It is unbelievable how we're just thinking, oh God, here we go, we've got to have a human existence, and make the beauty of that. And I think when you know deep within your soul all of the things of just every inch of you knowing that you're meant to be here for something else, that you are being in your life. And when you have those nudges every day, every minute, but you don't quite know as humans how and what you're meant to be, because so many people come to me for soul purpose, which is what I do. You just push it to the side and go, oh God, that's just a silly kind of thought. But every single part of you, I call them clears, or clairs as you might call them. I always call them clears because they come in like clear water. They're water droplets coming in, and they are shining a light on you to say, look, you haven't imagined that. You haven't not dreamt that for a reason. You haven't not seen that sign for a reason. That person is just coming to your world and you've thought of them. All of the synchronicities of beautiful clears or clear water that's running through your life like a river. Why are you putting a dam up and stopping that river?
I feel, I'm going to answer for the people, because all of this is made to be bad, or something that we shouldn't play around with, or we're going to open a door to something that we don't know. And I feel the game has been so well done in making us fear the most natural thing that we are here to do in this world, and that is to channel, and that is to understand that we are not actually these physical bodies, that we are these incredible spiritual beings having a human experience. But the real connection that we're here to have is with the truth of who we are. And that has been taken away from us. And we're the generation that is bringing it all back. And someone like yourself, who is really dedicated to helping people learn how to use their channel. Well, let's just say we are the channel, like we are the antennae to the beyond. And you're teaching people how to do that. And when they do, it's just so natural, and their lives change, because it's like, oh, it now makes sense why I've been this way my whole life. Or, oh, well, that totally makes more sense than anything I've ever been told in my life. So I'm not surprised people come to you for soul purpose, because the purpose is really to have this awakening to the truth of who we are. And talk to us about the incredible things that you do in this world. You have an academy, you've got live events, you hold so much incredible spaces online for people. Talk to us about how your work has evolved from that little girl who was lining up her teddies on her bed, welcoming spirit.
Well, you know what? I mean, when I reflect and I observe, and, you go through, I fell out with spirit a lot when I was growing up, because I just felt that knocking on the church door and all the things, you don't get answers. So you have to rely on yourself. You are number one for everything. You are your own portal to everything in life. And the reliance of that inside of you, rather than externally validating your being to look outside of you, is number one in all of my teaching. To actually just tap into your own power of within you that's always there. And that's what I call soul, like we do. Our soul speaks because it's us within us, telling us, knowing it, remembering it, being it in our truth. My work streams from that, and all of my work streams from that, but it streams right through your heart. All of my work comes from your heart. The unfortunate thing for people that we have been conditioned to live and be and breathe from the day we were born is we come from everything outside of ourselves, and we work from our heads.
And that's often
there is a bit of a problem there.
Yeah, there is. And that's why often in spirituality we say drop into your heart, but we're not actually dropping into the heart, we're dropping into the soul.
We are. It's your gateway. The gateway within yourself is through your heart into your soul. It's your inner core. However you want to term it, you'll have your own words. They'll come up to you while we're speaking. You're probably going to have a visualization or words drop in. That's your language. That's what makes you unique in your channel. And I think it's a really good point when I'm teaching people and they're learning from me is their language converses their meanings and their beliefs and their mirror reflectors, all the things of perception to make up their consciousness in their present being, so that they can actually understand then their language to open up their channel, because every single person has a unique way of doing that.
Yeah.
And that's half the battle, is knowing yourself, because we've disconnected from ourselves, which is why we live in this uncertainty and decisiveness and chaos and sufferance, because the disconnection is through our heads. It's not right in our hearts because we don't feel it enough.
Yeah. And also that's why people are on the hamster wheel of life, really, isn't it? And I always say, you know, like our loved ones in spirit or whoever it is that we're channeling, they never say to us, well, you suck, you may as well not go for that job, or, you know, oh, you may as well just do nothing with life. They're always on our corner, cheering us on to our infinite potential. And it's how humanity has been shaped through the conditions of the mind that we feel so limited or we feel so small. And when we start to open up and we channel life beyond this earth, we realize how powerful we truly are. And that is what they don't want us to know. Because if we know how powerful we are and we are unstoppable forces of creation, then this world would be an amazing place to live in. It wouldn't be something where we feel limited or scared or in lack or in all of those things that we experience, stress, sickness. It would be an amazing place. And it is always meant to be an amazing place. And that's why, you know, you and I and other incredible people in this world are on this mission to alleviate this world and step into that love consciousness where we're all existing as equals in this earth. And so when people are starting to go, okay, maybe there's more to this life, what would you recommend that they first kind of start to do?
The thing is, you can have many, many awakenings. And
that is true.
You know, come on. How many awakenings have we had?
I have one every minute, you know. Oh my God.
You know, and how many moments? It's the denial of the awakening that gets you in trouble, actually, because what I mean by that is it just keeps knocking. It keeps coming. It keeps coming, but it gets bigger. It gets louder. And if you're constantly going, oh my God, yeah, okay, I'm meant to be doing more, but I don't really know what I'm meant to be doing, which is so much where people come to me and they say that. There are people that are really purposeful people and leading in their own field, and they still don't know what they're meant to be doing, but it's meant to be being.
The whole point was never to do, it was to be.
The doing is in your head. The being is in your heart.
Absolutely. And when someone comes to you, because of course they can come to you for like sessions, or they can come to your events and all the incredible things that you are doing in the world, how do they often feel once they've experienced something with you?
Oh my goodness. I mean, everyone's so different. Obviously, because we're all very different, which is a beautiful, beautiful thing, right? I think it's the fact that so many people can't talk about it. They can't articulate the words to speak up and speak about their truth and honor their own power. It's a massive, massive part of my work, where because we go back to ancestral lineage and breaking chains, it's giving people that power to say, this is yours. And a lot of people that come to me have been over givers of love, people pleasers. We've held the world and we love the world, right? We love big. But a lot of the time we're surrounded by people that have just really fed from that light. And it's a massive awakening, because there are things that have to happen to become what you're meant to be here for. And it's not an easy road. And I think it's the belief is diminished when people come to me of, well, who, me? Really? I meant to be doing this? How? The how comes in because they're not yet becoming that person, but they really want to. And if the desire is there, the stepping into it becomes a natural path, and your world expands with such beauty and love and joy. And you bring those people with you that want to be around you in that world, because it is absolutely amazing. The fight or flight comes in when you are resisting it, because we go into fight or flight. And if you're going in fight or flight, you know you're not being true to yourself, which is why you get the fight and flight in the first place. It's just your trigger mechanism comes in to go, oh my God, this is so big. I don't know if I can do this. Let's just run, or let's just fight it out. And the fight is the mind.
Yeah. And most people will listen to that instead of really leaning in and allowing divine intelligence that streams inside all of us to guide us to the very things that it is that we want, and we run away from them by listening to that sabotage and those limiting thoughts that tell us, oh no, I couldn't do that, it can't be me. Oh, how? The how was never meant to be figured out. The how is the magic. And I love that you help so many people. In a way, you're the permission slip for them.
Oh my goodness. So you see, the thing is, I'm such a natural, down-to-earth girl that I just think, it's because I've walked the walk before them, but I've felt I've walked it all my life and lifetimes before. But I just feel that, you know what, I can just give that love frequency in my work, which cascades through all my work, that makes them feel safe.
I love that. I feel like I'm getting a nudge. I'm going to put you on the spot. And before I do,
No.
of course, I'm going to link it in. But where do you hang out, like on socials, for people to find you? Like, where's the best place if they want to connect with you to get things started?
Okay, so I have a free Facebook group called Channel Spirit, and it houses beautiful channelers, fellow channelers, that honor the fact that they are channeling or want to be channeling, and they come and observe a lot. I have a lot of observers, and they sit in my world for quite a long time, just really getting brave, learning, experiencing, being in my energy, being with other like-minded people in a community. That is really, really important. And coming in, I've got 6 months worth of free trainings in there. People can immerse themselves in my world and my energy and really just suss it out. I have a lot of sussing out of people coming in. And then, you know, there's a diversity of frequency that we work in. And whether it's mediumship, whether it's psychic, whether it's healing, whether it's energy work, whether it's hypnotherapy, it's all a frequency of work that can be absolutely enhanced by channeling, because actually you're probably already doing it. It's just knowing you're doing it without the disbelief that you're actually channeling, and then you go, oh, is that really it? Oh, right, I get you now. Oh my God, I think I've been doing that all my life. Yeah. And it's like,
oh, because it's so true. I think people think it's going to be like this incredible like experience, but it's literally like just like breathing. You don't even realize you're doing it. So I love it. Of course, you're on all the things, Facebook, Insta, TikTok, all the things. So I'll link it in the show notes.
Check out my TikTok as well. Really good reels on that.
Oh,
I
don't TikTok. I don't know how. I'm like, I can't add another thing. But I got this little nudge that you're going to see us out of this episode with a channel.
Oh, really?
Okay. So I'm putting you on the spot. You're going to connect to whoever and you're going to leave us with a channeled message for everybody that listens to the podcast as like our little goodbye. So I'm going to say officially, I love you. Thank you for being on the show, on the podcast.
Thank you.
I love you so much. It is an honor to co-create with you. And
No, really, truly.
And I love you so much. So thank you for giving us the time and your heart today. And I'm so excited for what you're here to do in this world and help so many people to come home inside themselves through their ability to channel the truth. So, my love, the floor is yours. What have you got for us from the beyond?
Okay, so I'm just going to settle into it a minute. Okay, so I'm channeling the highest consciousness of all, the divine. And, okay. So I'm just going to say this as a humanitarian announcement or a way of being for people that are listening, that divine consciousness is nothing to fear whatsoever. It's a natural state of frequency that anybody can channel and tap into. And it's about believing that there's something more impossible in your world that you desire to be and that you desire to create the existence that you're here to actually incarnate and be in your human. The thing is that your channel directly links you with all source of being truly fulfilled. You know your own path, you know your own future, and you can make the choices to live an existence that is truly specially aligned for you in all that you do, with everybody else that chooses to be a channel.
Thank you so much, beautiful Emma. I feel so honored that you're here sharing such a beautiful message for all of us. And anybody that gets the opportunity to see you live in person as well as online is so truly blessed to be in your energy and in your presence. So thank you for being the real deal in this life of bringing so much truth and transformation and healing in this world. I'm so blessed to have you in my life.
Oh, likewise. Thank you so much to everyone listening and to your good, beautiful self, the fellow channeler. With everybody else that is wanting to channel, get going and enjoy every minute of it.
Thank you for joining me for today's episode. I want to express my utmost gratitude for having you joining me on this journey in making mediumship the norm. As we together continue to explore the depths of the spiritual realm, I ask if you could please leave a 5-star review for the podcast. Your feedback and your ratings not only brighten up my day, but they also help others to discover the podcast so we can truly bring mediumship into the everyday homes and conversations. And if you're ready to dive in deeper and want to work with me and see what possibilities await you, I encourage you to book in a reading with me or to check out the Soul Love Academy. Thank you so much for being part of this incredible journey in making mediumship the norm. I can't wait to connect with you in the next episode. Until then, remember that you are a gift to the world. Together we awaken, together we align, and together we ascend. Love always, Melissa Espinasse. Mwah!